Good evening, everyone. This meeting was called for Monday, February 26, 2024 at 7:30 p.m. at Borough Hall located at 77 Summer Hill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey, pursuant to the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-4-8B. The public may choose to attend this meeting electronically via Google Meet. This meeting was advertised on the Spotswood website and the home news tribune.
Councilman Kramer?
Here.
Councilman Lesko?
Here.
Councilwoman Schwartz? Here. Councilman Zaborni?
Here.
Council President Legakis?
Here.
And Mayor Palmer is absent.
Thank you. We'll start tonight with the engineer's report.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, all. On behalf of the Borough Engineers Office, I submit tonight's report. For the item number 1, the 2023 capital improvements, there's currently no update. For the 2022 NJDOT roadway improvements of South Morse and Orchard, the construction is complete. We are in process of closing the project out. For item number 3, the 2023 NJDOT roadway improvements of West End, Latour, and Walker, we have received NJDOT approval. We got that late last week, and we are in the process of setting up a big date. We'll coordinate with the clerk.
Thank you. Any questions from the council member?
We have 2 ordinances this evening. For first ordinance on second reading, public hearing is ordinance 2024-1. The calendar year 2024 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. And an ordinance on first reading, public hearing set for March 18th, 2024. Ordinance 2024-2. Bond ordinance providing for various capital improvements and the acquisition of various capital equipment, appropriating $2 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1.9 million in bonds and notes to finance a portion of the cost thereof, authorized in and by the Borough of Spotswood in the County of Middlesex, New Jersey. We also have resolutions under consent agenda. 2024-40, resolution of the Borough Council of the Borough of Spotswood to provide for the transfer of year 2023 budget appropriations. 2024-41, resolution authorizing the filing of tax appeals / counterclaims. 2024-42, resolution authorizing payment application number 7 for Daniel Road water treatment plant improvements in the Borough of Spotswood. 2024-43, resolution authorizing the appointment of Kimberly Humphrey as the qualified purchasing agent for the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, in the state of New Jersey. 2024-44, resolution awarding an emergency contract / purchase order to B&W Construction Co. of New Jersey, Inc. for emergency water main repairs. 2024-45, resolution authorizing a tax refund. 2024-46, resolution to authorize the execution of a professional services contract for special legal counsel services pursuant to a non-fair and open process in accordance with NJSA 19:44A-20.5, 2024-47, payment of bills, and 2024-48, resolution amending the 2024 temporary capital budget.
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to open to the public. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. The public comment portion of the Spotswood Borough Council meeting is to allow the public to bring to council's attention their concerns or comments in accordance with NJSA 10-4-12A, as well as Spotswood Borough Ordinances 2-18 and 2-19, except upon consent of the council president. Each person addressing the council in the case of a resolution shall limit their remarks to 3 minutes, and in the case of an ordinance shall limit their remarks to 5 minutes total for the meeting. No person shall direct any remark or question to any specific council member except on permission of the council president. Any council member through the council president may choose to answer a question, but they are not obligated to do so. All persons wishing to address the council shall do so from the podium or another location specified by the council president. Each person addressing the council must identify themselves by name and address. If said person is representing a business or organization, they shall further state whether their comments are their personal view or those of the group that they represent. So at this point, if you have any questions or comments about anything on the caucus agenda or the ordinances or the resolutions, you may come up now and ask those questions.
I love going first. Diane Charlesworth, 29 Old Stage Road. Is this working? Okay. Couple of things. The resolution for the special legal counsel. Could you give us a kind of a thumbnail sketch of what this person's responsibility will be?
The council members felt that they wanted a little bit more guidance in terms of asking questions and being able to get some legal advice. So this is something that the council is appointing.
Okay, so Mr. Sachs will be responsible to the council specifically or only or?
To the council members, yes.
On the bill list. Interaction Insight Court, Unified Recording System. Do you know what that was for? You want the PO number?
Yes, please.
PO 240076 is on the second page at the top. It is a voice recording system for the police. I'm sorry.
It is a voice recording system for the police department.
Okay. Okay. Also on page 4, towards the center of the page, parking with K for 22 grand. I know what that's for. Do they have a 17.5 limit or is it a 44,000?
No, we had approved them at the January meeting.
So they can bill lots of money if they earn it. Okay. Lastly, I don't see any bills on here from Ms. Flynn. When do you think you might get those to us?
They're already submitted. They're being reviewed for attorney-client. I had to take out a lot of privileged items in it, so I revised the bills for Mr. Umba for his review, so the request.
Okay, and do you think you've hit 44 grand for this year yet?
No,
No. Do you know where you're at?
yes,
Could you give us a clue?
no, not until they're approved. By the VA.
Okay. Kim Humphrey. She worked in Bradley Beach. Now she works in Keyport, 2 towns that you also happen to represent. Are you running a recruitment agency or a headhunter agency? That's to you, Ms. Flynn.
Council President, should I answer that question? I know I don't run a recruitment agency. I'm a lawyer, so no, I don't.
Just find it curious that so many people that you're associated with end up working in Spotswood. That's all.
Any other questions?
I actually have one. Resolution awarding an emergency contract purchase order to BMW. I thought our own people did road repairs and water main breaks. Why are we paying somebody else?
You've always used BMW for your water main breaks.
I've gone out when I was with emergency management and staff with them. Our own guys doing it.
Since I've been here, the BMW does all the emergency repairs. These items, and as you can see on the resolution, some of them are from 2023, around Christmas time, and then halfway down from 2020.
Okay, thank you.
Make a motion to close the public portion?
Second.
All in favor?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting was called for Monday, February 26, 2024 at 7:30 PM at Borough Hall located at 77 Summer Hill Road, Spotswood, New Jersey. Pursuant to the provisions of the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act, NJSA 10-4-8B, the public may choose to attend this meeting electronically via Google Meet. This meeting was advertised on the Spotswood website and in the Home News Tribune.
Councilman Kramer?
Here.
Councilman Lesko?
Here.
Councilwoman Schwartz? Here. Councilman Zaborni?
Here.
Council President Legakis?
Here.
And Mayor Palmer is absent.
Ask everybody now, please rise to salute the flag and observe after the pledge a moment of silence for the passing of Councilman John Malone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
We have some sets of minutes to approve. We have minutes from regular and caucus meeting from December 18th, 2023, our reorganization meeting, January 3rd, 2024, regular and caucus minutes from January 3rd, 2024, and regular and caucus minutes from January 22nd, 2024.
Motion to accept minutes from December 18, 2023, January 3, 2024, January 3, 2024, and January 22nd, 2024.
Second.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Lesko?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Zaborni?
Yes.
And Council President Legakis?
Yes.
Next, I'll take a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-1 on second reading.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-1 on second reading.
Second. Oh, no.
Oh, there.
Sorry. I'll take a motion to open to the public for public comment for ordinance 2024-1.
I'll make a motion to open ordinance 2024-1 to the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If anybody has any questions, please come to the podium.
Nobody on the internet.
I'll make a motion to close the public for ordinance 2024-1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now I'll take a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-1 on second reading.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-1 on its second reading.
Second.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Lesko?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Zaborni?
Yes.
Council President Legakis?
Yes.
Council members, Council President, I will take a motion to open to the public on ordinance 2024-2 on first reading. I will take a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-2 on first reading.
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-2 on its first reading.
Second.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Lesko?
Yes.
Councilwoman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Zaborni?
Yes.
And Council President Legakis?
Yes.
Council President, council members, I will take a motion to accept resolutions on the consent agenda, resolutions 2024-40 through 2024-48.
Now, I would like to make a motion to table 2024-43 at this time.
Second.
Councilman Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Lesko?
No.
Councilwoman Schwartz?
Yes.
Councilman Zaborni?
No.
And Council President Legakis?
Yes.
Can resolution be tabled for like 30 minutes from now?
You can vote on it when you come back from closed session.
I wouldn't mind holding off on the special attorney for a half hour or so, 45 minutes.
You have to ask Council President to make a motion.
Council President.
Vote
I
from
have
the
to make a
consent
motion.
agenda. Yeah, vote from the consent agenda.
I do want to vote on it tonight though.
Yeah, you just have to move it from consent agenda. Would be my recommendation.
Okay.
So it's like
Yeah, then you can vote on everything
No, you
else.
don't
No.
table. 'cause
You don't
you're-
table it.
So what's
You're placing it on the table, not going to discuss it afterwards. So you want to just remove it from the consent agenda. Then you can go
Vote on
into
it
executive
separately.
session, and then come back out of the executive session. But before we go into executive, you must state if you're going to take action on an item that might be discussed. in executive session.
Could you speak into the mic, please?
So how would you like me to word it? The table for a half hour?
And then you would remove resolution 2024-46 from the consent agenda. If you're voting on the consent, agenda, you're voting on the package.
Right.
So 43 has been removed, it's been placed on the table, so it's not to be considered today.
Okay.
Now you're asking to remove a resolution from the consent agenda so it can be voted on separately from the other consent agenda.
After the close, ideally.
That's up to you.
Okay.
You're just removing it from the consent agenda.
I will make a motion to remove resolution 2024-46 from the consent agenda. 2024-46,
Dash 46.
yes.
Motion down.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. Council President, council members, I'll take a motion to accept resolutions on consent agenda, resolutions 2024-40 through 2024-42 and 2024-44 through 2024-48.
Make a motion to accept 2024-40 through 2024-42 and 2024-44 through 2024-48.
Seconded.
Are we roll calling?
Okay.
I just didn't know when I was supposed to speak.
Councilman Kramer,
Yes.
Councilman Lesko,
Well, I have to abstain from the bill, so abstain.
Councilwoman Schwartz,
I have no objection to the bill list, but I do need to abstain from 24-00134.
and Councilman Zaborni,
Yes.
and Councilman President Legakis.
Yes. At this time, I'll ask if any of the council members have any comments.
So can I say something before you leave,
Sure.
Councilman? So, as the business administrator for the Spotswood Borough, I am required to inform council that you passed a resolution in violation of NJAC 5:30-5.4, which requires a certification of funds available when appointing a contract, and there is no certification of funds from the chief financial officer for the borough. And that is required under NJAC 5:30-5.4. I can read the administrative code, but without a certification of funds, you cannot approve a resolution because you don't have certification on how to pay those funds. all appointments that were done, that the reorg had a certification of funds. This resolution does not have a certification of funds. It never went through my office, so I couldn't check it. And it's a requirement under public contract.
So you're blocking what we're trying to do.
I'm not blocking anything. I'm just stating what state law states, and you just pass a resolution without a certification of funds.
Ignore it. And so what is your recommendation then? What is your point?
My point is, if you're going to approve a contract and this resolution states that I'm directed to sign it, I cannot sign something if there is no certification of funds from the CFO.
So this was sent to you last week. You knew that we were,
The resolution was not sent.
you,
I don't
It was
get
on the agenda.
I don't get an agenda packet until I show up here for that. I've said this, I brought it up. I don't have access to a Google Drive that everyone keeps talking about. I don't get a resolution until it shows up here on the agenda for when I get it. Unless I create the resolution and put it on the agenda.
We can go in closed session to discuss it further. I'm not gonna give my legal advice. I'm not
Let me take your
in favor of waiving it.
Okay.
okay. Councilwoman Schwartz, did you have anything to
I do.
report on?
The library will be holding their Makers Day on Saturday, March 16th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It is a drop-in event for people of all ages, so please be sure to come and make, create, and participate. Something new. Friends of the Library are organizing a fundraiser to Playhouse 22 to see Steel Magnolias on Sunday, April 28th. The registration information will be coming out soon, so please keep an eye out for that. Our recreation department has been posting a lot of different things on the Facebook page. So I have been doing some research. Flag football registration is still open. So if you are still interested, it is open to boys and girls from kindergarten through 8th grade and will start in March. And we are still in need of coaches, I believe. Yes. So please email spotswoodrec@spotswoodborough.com. Coaches get 1 free registration for their child. So check that out. On Saturday, March 16th, the rec and PTA will co-sponsor the Easter Egg Scramble. The annual event will feature a visit and a picture taking opportunity with the Easter Bunny. And the flyer is out. I saw this on Facebook for the townwide spring yard sale, which will be happening April 27th and April 28th from 8 to 5. Please see the Recreation Facebook page or the website for more information and a link to register, and all fees for that weekend are waived. The Office of Aging asked me to let everybody know that as of March 1st, bingo will be held on the 1st and 3rd Fridays of each month. If the month has 5 Fridays, then it will be the 1st, the 3rd, and the 5th Friday of each month. Friends of the Office of Aging will have open positions for president and vice president in the year 2025. Nominations will be in October and the elections will be in November. And AARP appointments are still available for tax assistance from 9:15 to 1:15. Appointments are required, so please call the Office of Aging if you're looking for tax assistance, and you must be a Middlesex County resident. And on a personal note, there's nothing worse than being woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning to your doorbell ringing. And last month, the day after our meeting, as a matter of fact, my neighbor was ill and his wife came banging on our door for help. So I would like to publicly thank the following borough employees for their dedication and professionalism in responding to my 911 call and for helping to get my neighbor to the hospital. Communications Officer Gregory Videla, who so professionally received my phone call and dispatched the officers in a timely manner, staying on the phone with me until they arrived. Police officers Patrolman Tyler Campbell and Nick Camarda, who were first on the scene and assessed the situation, promptly calling for EMTs to respond. Communications Officer and per diem EMT Jonathan Schwartz, who, although he was responding for personal reasons, still represented as a Spotswood employee with tact and professionalism, working with both the police officers and the EMTs through the entire event. Spotswood EMTs Thomas Weldon and Jason Menzinas, who accurately and quickly assessed the medical needs of our neighbor and probably saved his life. Robert Wood Johnson paramedics, Weiss and Mendelson, who assisted in the transport of our neighbor and confirmed the medical assessment of our own EMTs. We later found out that the condition of our neighbor was so severe that if it were not for the rapid response of these professionals, he might not have made it through the night. So that is my public thank you to all of you for that.
I have nothing at this time. I'm a little busy with other things, so I'll get back to it by next meeting.
Councilor Lester.
Yes, a few things, everybody. So as many of you know, I've been coaching indoor soccer. Kindergartners and first graders. It started mid-January. The last day, unfortunately, is this coming Saturday, which makes 8 weeks in total with a couple of snow days. I honestly grew to like it a lot. The kindergartners are very good. I think they tied one game, no losses. The first graders, a loss or two, majority wins. So I appreciated you stepping up to the plate because I enjoyed it a lot. And I met a lot of good kids, a lot of families, and hopefully we can get those parents involved in recreation or another form in the town. Now, the second item I mentioned back in the fall, so consider try again or take two. I've messaged from the Business Alliance. The Business Alliance is hosting a restaurant week, April 7th through April 20th, provided there is buy-in. Invites were sent out last week and we are monitoring responses. A flyer will be made available in the coming weeks. There will be a contest where participating residents can win gift cards to local eateries. Keep an eye out for details. So keep an eye out, like they said. Item number 3, I've been doing a steps challenge at work. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is the last day of a 5-week challenge. I have a team of 5, and we are matched through Horizon. We're matched up against another team each week, and your cell phone tracks how many steps you do in a day. So I'm like a whack job now at late at night. If I didn't think I got enough, I've done a few laps from one wall in my room to another wall because we're pretty competitive. So I'm going to make a recommendation to the borough that perhaps we can implement something like that, whether through rec or another group. If we do teams of 5, teams of 3, more details to be ironed out, but that could be a good way to kick off the summer. And there are a few apps that track it for you and will give you leaderboards, etc. And then for the 4th and final item, Middlesex County shredding events start again. I announced it because I've had a pile in my room since the winter, and I didn't understand how the schedule worked, but it'll be in Old Bridge on March 24th, and Spotswood is not until June 8th. So if you have bulk amount of papers, bring it to Old Bridge on March 24th, or wait until we host it here in June. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Zaborni.
A lot of good things going on. Spotswood Board of Education meeting was last week, and they want to personally thank Chief Caballero and OEM Director Jose Rivera for assisting with the snow conditions around the coordination for the all the students and the roads and everyone. So they were deeply appreciated for that. The 4th Thursday of every month, we're looking to do the Heritage meeting, Heritage Culture, over in right on, I'm sorry, my mind went blank for a second, Daniel Road, the VFW. So check it out. It's there the other night. A lot of great events they're planning for it and great discussion. And as I always say, the St. Peter's shop, go check them out. A lot of good sales, all benefits, good programs throughout our communities just as well. Happy spring soon be. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Zaborni. Just a couple of quick points I want to make. I just want to say thank you to the Spotswood Fire Department for allowing me to attend their dinner and it was an honor to participate in the installation dinner and swear in the officers. So congratulations to all of those that were sworn in that night. I want to make an announcement that the community team NJ is taking up a special collection, in honor of International Women's Day on March 8th, 2024. Bins will be in the lobby of the municipal building. They will be collecting items such as hygiene items such as sanitary pads, tampons, panty liners, Midol, flushable wipes, hand sanitizer, hand soap, deodorant, body wash, underwear, and shaving products. So their flyer is up here if anybody wants to take a look at it after the meeting. Thank you to the community team for all that you do. And I just want to make an early announcement that our April meeting, which was scheduled for April 15th, will be moved to April 22nd because of a conflict. So I just wanted to mention that, and it is changed on our calendar. Thank you. At this time, we do have a citation to be read, proclamation, excuse me. Councilman Zaborni, this is for National Black History Month.
National Black History Month. Whereas Black History Month is an annual celebration of achievements by Black Americans and a time for recognizing the central role of African Americans in U.S. history. And whereas since 1976, every U.S. president has officially designated the month of February as Black History Month. And other countries around the world, including Canada and the United Kingdom, also devote a month to celebrating Black history. And whereas this observance affords a special opportunity to become knowledgeable about Black heritage and to honor the many Black leaders who have contributed to the progress of our community, state, and nation. And whereas such knowledge can strengthen the understanding by all citizens regarding the issues of human rights, the great strides that have been made in the crusade to eliminate barriers to equality for minority groups, and the continuing struggle against racial discrimination and poverty. And whereas, as we mark National African American History Month, we celebrate giants of the civil rights movement and countless other men and women whose names are etched in the hearts of their loved ones and the cornerstones of the country they helped to change. We pause to reflect on our progress and our history, not only to remember, but also to acknowledge our unfinished work. We reject the false notion that our challenges lie only in the past and recommit to advancing what has been left undone. Now, therefore, the governing body of the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, and the state of New Jersey, along with Mayor Jackie Palmer, do hereby proclaim the month of February 2024 as Black History Month and express special commendation to the dedicated volunteers who have labored so diligently to make this observance a reality in our community. Be it further proclaimed that we urge all citizens to take special note of the various Black History Month exhibits displayed in public buildings, attend scheduled activities, and join together in making this a period of rededication to the principles of justice, equality for all people.
This time, I'd like to make a motion to open to the public.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. This time, you can come up to the podium and speak about anything that you'd like.
Hello, Kristen Grace, 203 Willard Clark Circle. Council President, I have handouts. May I give them to you to disperse to the?
Sure.
So as I stated, I live on Willard Clark Circle, and I've come before you as my neighbors have also come before you to talk about the flooding situation on Willard Clark Circle. So what I've given to you is my history of the flooding since I've lived in Spotswood on Willard Clark Circle. And I just wanted to point out a couple things. First, some of these storms were not related to any hurricanes. Some were, and that's understandable. The first one on the first page in 2005 was told to me to be a 100-year flood. This will never happen again in our lifetime. And as you can see, this is right in front of my house, my backyard, the river flowing from my backyard neighbor, etc. The next page, 2007, again, just a random rainstorm, nothing remarkable. Down in the fourth picture, that is my neighbors. area, where, you can see extensive flooding. 2011, this was an anomaly. The flooding went down the other end of Willard Clark Circle, which was a little strange. Now during Sandy, we didn't have any flooding, amazingly. However, I wanted to point out that this humongous tree fell, took down all the power lines, and I was without power along with some of my other neighbors 10 days. Not the rest of the neighborhood, just 5 houses, 10 days. Because that tree had been weakened. That's where that flood in the first picture on the top came from. On the page, 2021 Ida, okay, it was a hurricane. I understand that happens. 2023, this is just July 4th of last year. Extensive amounts of water, and in December of this past year, again, just a random rainstorm, nothing remarkable. So what I've come here to ask is a couple things. One, an update. The last that I got an official update from the engineering department was in December. And I was told that in the fall, which is prior to December, they were going to be getting out to get the vegetation out of the ditch, things like that, because they wanted to wait until everything froze, which I understand. But now it's February, and I understand that hasn't been done yet. So can I get an update?
Sure, yes. So I met with DPW last week, actually. We were actually out in the ditch, I'll call it, that runs behind Willard Clark Circle, behind where you live and whatnot. And John is currently making progress to get back in there. He did some cleaning back in the late fall time. Leaf collection took over, and now he's back now that there's all the snow removal is complete, he's back in there, and he planned on getting in there this week is what he informed me of. So within the next couple of weeks, I assume there'll be more of an update and it'll be sent in that email chain that we're typically everything's been sent into you.
Great. I asked him a question. Is that okay? Can you also include some pictures like you did last
Oh,
time?
absolutely.
That'd be great. Okay,
Yep.
Thank you so much. And then I'll share that with our neighbors
Sure.
as well. Okay, great. I also understand that there's been talk of putting some money into the budget next year for this issue. As you can see, this has been a long, ongoing issue. I'm pleading with the council that when you're talking about your budget for next year, that this is something you consider for all the residents on Willard Clark Circle. In addition, I'm going to state that the engineering department has contacted East Brunswick many, many times and has fallen on deaf ears. I find that highly unethical for a neighboring town, which we border on, which, in my opinion, there's an issue between East Brunswick and Spotswood, and they need to work together to solve this problem. So I'm just explaining my frustration with East Brunswick, not you guys, that they're not answering the calls of a fellow neighboring town, which I just think is awful. So what I'm concerned about, and some of my neighbors are concerned about, you've seen the level of water here.
Right.
What's the state of my foundation of my house? I don't know. But the continuing rising level of water tables and constant wetness, everybody's house sits in water, right? You sit in a puddle, basically. And hopefully that goes away, and then, you have a storm, it comes back. But I'm concerned. My neighbor has said that where the water has always gotten to near his house, because he's closer to the end where the water river comes from East Brunswick, that's creeping closer and closer to his house. My backyard neighbor had a fence installed last week professionally, and they dug the holes, and the holes were filled with water. It took them days to set the cement to put those posts in. That's really concerning to me because I don't know what's under my ground, right? So these are my concerns. I know you guys listen to me, you listen to my neighbors when we come, and oh dear, that's awful. This is horrible pictures. And then we go away, but we go back to that and it's still there. Every time it rains, we look at the forecast in our neighborhood. Do we leave the house? I mean, things that I have done since that first storm, we lost everything in the first storm in our basement because nobody told us that there was a water problem. So we lost everything. Furniture, we had our family room down there. Couches, rugs. I saved my husband's baseball cards.
That is.
However, so we bought everything, bins and everything in. Then the next time it happened, we paid for a French drain. Then the next time it happened, these things keep happening, okay? And, so please help us.
Understandable. And I've had the opportunity to go and meet with Kevin and, look at the pictures, the maps that they have, and, he's gone over some of the ideas that they've had to try and help with the situations, not just in your area, but other areas around the town. So we'll continue to try and do what we can to help you guys out.
I don't live in a flood zone.
Mhm.
The first time this happened, FEMA came to my house. Can you imagine? Spotswood, FEMA was at my house. These things shouldn't be happening.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
My name is Rich Colby. I live on 35 South Street. I'd like to ask the council if we could get together with maybe engineering, maybe the business administrator, fire department, or the police department, to go over an issue that we have on South Street for decades. I just,
Can you elaborate on what the issues?
fire department, I mean, none of the, parking problem, encroachment. I mean, the lack of, everything down there. The fire hydrants never made code, never did code when they built the gym. Parking, there's 34 parking spaces. It's missing 260. I mean, we can go through a whole thing, but I'm just saying, I don't want to take up all your time, so that's why I was asking if we can have even, I don't know, I think Andy Rashan is your part-time, code enforcement.
Is anybody else aware of the situation that
I think
brought to somebody's attention?
complaints for years and years and years.
Okay.
And, I spoke with the business administrator the other day, after the complaints. They're gonna redo the hydrants. I have paperwork here. The last time it was done was 2008. 400 gallons comes out of the hydrant. We have one hydrant on South Street.
Mhm.
It's unable to hook a fire truck up to it.
Sure.
I've been a member of the fire department since 1989. I know it can't handle it. This has been an issue for decades.
Okay.
There's ordinances that were just like bypassed, like unbelievable.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't need to take up all your time.
No, not at all. I would definitely want to hear more about it. I'm not familiar with it, so if
Well, that's why I said it.
Yeah.
Maybe sit down with some, whoever would like to or care to, maybe engineering would get involved, fire department get involved. I'd love to see the police department get involved, because there's a lot of issues.
Sure.
And when they're all,
I'll grab your number after the meeting
absolutely.
and we'll connect.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I just have a question.
Can you just, I'm sorry, can you state your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Colleen Ronco, Manalapan Road. We were talking about certifying funds before, I guess, for the new special counsel. Can you tell me when we certified funds and when we did a resolution for the special counsel to be suing the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office?
That's assigned through the insurance company. We don't certify funds through our insurance company.
So who authorized us to sue them then?
Not this council.
There was no resolution put forward, so who's making the decision to sue the prosecutor's office over the Larry Bowen video? Counsel?
I would suggest no one talk about it publicly, because this matter is part of a sealed court record, and I understand your questions, but I don't want anyone talking about something that's part of the sealed court record at this point in time.
Whether or not they did a resolution is not part of a sealed court record.
Well, they didn't do a resolution, as you correctly stated, and as Mr. Omba already stated, it was a matter that's been being handled by the insurance company.
My other question is, what is the policy on sending
emails back and forth between employees regarding other employees and HIPAA violations and why individuals resign. We're not supposed to be doing that, correct? I mean, you shouldn't have one employee sending emails to other employees regarding why people resigned and their mental state when they did and things of that nature. Is that correct? It's construing the
That would be something that you'd have to ask the administration or the attorney. I'm not aware of.
I'm unaware of the context of the question.
context of the question is, if we have an employee that is sending emails to another employee, the administration that's sending emails to another administrator regarding the mental capacity, mental state of an employee, and whether they're going to resign or if they resign, is that something that is supposed to be done from one employee to another? I thought we had kind of rules and regulations protecting employees from talking to each other. So what I'm asking is that,
Referring to
what is the personnel policy? Or,
someone sending out information to another municipality.
correct, no, in between individuals within this municipality.
I would have to look at the handbook.
Yeah, but basically, there's
I don't
state,
think whatever-
in general, there are state laws that prohibit anyone revealing any personnel information publicly, things like that,
So
but
from one employee to another employee, or from one employee to an ex-employee, that would not be,
I'd have to really look at it specifically. If there's something specific you want to share, you can share that with me, and then we'll take a look at it.
that's right, but I will be sending it out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Diane Charles, we're 29 Old State Road. When are we gonna get new microphones?
It was part of the capital plan, and as you saw this evening, we had to reintroduce the capital.
Okay, so by next month, by summer, by fall,
I
by,
have the quotes from, Mr. Cahill, we're just reviewing those items, but there was an issue with advertising the prior ordinance that did not allow us to continue spending on the capital.
so again, could you be a little more specific?
So when we were going out for bonding, so when you pass a capital ordinance, you don't automatically make the bond. You have to then go to your bond council, and your bond council then decides if you get permanent financing or any bond anticipation. When looking to do a bond anticipation note on the prior ordinance that was approved by the council last year, the advertising of the ordinance was not done per the bonding laws. And so at that point, bond council requested that we redo the ordinance.
And just an observation. This is the second meeting that our mayor has missed. And I realize that there's a lot of huzz-rah going around in town, going on in town regarding lawsuits and all that kind of stuff. And I just, it struck me as odd because I know that in 2019 and 2020, the current mayor and I used to spend a lot of time at meetings excoriating the former mayor. And yet he showed up every month, every meeting. Just an observation.
Speaking of the devil. Got to put on my official hat.
Ed Seeley, Commander of the American Legion, Post 253 in Spotswood, other than 88 Elm Street. I'm here on behalf of the American Legion this evening. Previous meeting, a meeting before this, I had requested from the council some type of direction on what I could do with the parade. I hate to tell you this, guys, I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time, so I need to know what we're doing with this police coverage for the parade. And if it requires resolution, gotta take advantage for this funds. But I need an answer. Answer?
I believe that this council is in agreement that we would support the Memorial Day Parade. So we can look to pass a resolution at the next meeting.
I'm here as Ed Sealy. No, I wasn't gonna be here as Ed Sealy until I just heard some things that really got me pissed off. You had said previously, Council President, that you had focused going back to the attorney issue. That you had a meeting with Mr. Kumba about this appointment.
I sent over the resolution
Or
for,
your attention was.
Right.
At
You
any
did not send
time,
me the resolution, you sent me an email without a resolution, okay? And I responded.
and the resolutions are posted on the website.
all right, well, we don't go back and forth.
It's a Friday.
That's not really the issue I'm going for. At any time, Mr. Kumba works for the council and the mayor. He works for the borough of Spotswood. You know, she's just pointed out by trying to say something here, about what you're doing. At any time in that email back and forth, if you got a response or not, did he mention that you need certified funds for this?
But I did mention something else, but I won't talk about it here because we probably talk about it in executive, but
I think I have an awful lot to say tonight. Usually you don't talk.
when there's violations
I
of the law,
know.
Mayor, I have
Doesn't you get a microphone?
Well, the violations of the law is one thing. The point is, you represent the borough, you represent the council, you work for them as well as the mayor. If there was a situation that required this and you were well aware of their intentions, I think as your professionalism, you should have advised them, you know, you really can't do that.
I
Well,
did.
before this meeting,
I did
that you
advise
don't
them.
have the funds. You told me that? You just said you didn't say that.
I did not advise them of the funds. I advised them of a different issue that they brought up in their email and stating that they would not be permitted to entertain the resolution. The council decided to do it. It's their meeting. I won't get into the context of my
I'm not
advisement
asking you to
to
get
the
into context.
council, but all 5 governing body members were on the email, which I don't really think is proper, but I advised.
I don't
As
know
was
why,
the borough
I don't know
attorney.
why all 5 members of the council not being on is proper. It's actually smart because it
You can't
eliminates
say you're
argument.
making an affirmative action in an email of all 5 governing body members.
Did they take a vote on this? On a vote, on an email?
They stated that they were passing the resolution.
Well, he has the right as council president to call each individual secretary and ask them what they think.
He has the right to state that they will be entertaining a resolution at the meeting, not saying which way the council is going to go at a meeting. That's for the public meeting, for that discussion to be had.
Living in a dream world, I really think that doesn't happen.
The
I'm just
township,
saying.
the municipal
I don't
clerk
agree
can
with
poll,
legal,
the
I'm not
municipal
talking about-
clerk under state law may poll committee members. She may poll them. Doesn't leave it up to the council president. It leaves it up to the clerk to poll members to put items onto an agenda. But if I'm told that we are approving something prior to a public meeting, I must advise my governing body that you're not supposed to say that in an email, because you constitute the email as a public meeting without it being properly advertised.
You mentioned this law, this violation of law to him before tonight.
Yep.
In the email that he sends me, yes.
Every time I sit up here and I look and I say to myself, "Well, I want to get back into this." You've kind of pushed me there again. I do want to get back in there, and I can't wait, and I can't wait till they send you back.
Yeah.
I'm really not a fan. It's like, have a good night.
Rich O'Brien, 11 Hudson Avenue. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try just like a simple question that hopefully doesn't spark like whatever just happened. I noticed there was some construction work last week in the backyard behind the municipal building. I'm assuming that may have had something to do with the new communications tower that we know is ongoing project. Could you give us a status update of that?
I do not have an update. I'm not
I
sure.
don't believe it's a communication tower. council approved for a cell tower company to put up a new cell tower in the rear.
Forgive me, I used the wrong term.
Of
The big
building, so
giant
it's a
tower
private-
that would be behind the building.
Yeah, so like, it's a private tower that's being built, for, cell service.
Okay.
I believe it's AT&T and.
The few leases, like 3 leases.
So was the construction we observed a part of that?
Yes. Because they couldn't go on our current tower.
Is there an update as to the next stage or phase of the project? And ultimately when the project might be?
I would have to ask our construction official, because that's being overseen by them. Because they had to get permits.
Nothing the engineering knows about?
No, we were not involved.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Michael Sipak, live at 54 Michael Road. Just here to, again, I know I've been in contact with some of the members up there. Just wanted to reiterate that we've had ongoing issues with the home next to us. We're very aware of this to it again, that this home is for adults with mental disabilities, and we unfortunately have a resident in one of the bedrooms who has been coming to his window and exposing himself at various times, holding his privates, doing inappropriate things at the window. I know we brought it up last fall, but we're bringing this up again because it's becoming more and more an issue once again. In the past, we had our lawyers reach out to someone with the home, the lawyers for them, or the owners, whoever they reached out to try and get some kind of resolution in place. They put up a tint on the bottom half of the window. But if anybody wants to come by that home, you can see it really just kind of covers, and the gentleman from, base or chest down, and you can still see a visible body behind it. It's, one of those ones where you can't, make out every little detail either way, but you can very clearly see that his hand is still, hands on where doing inappropriate things as he's staring out at us. Trying to play out. It's really disturbing.
Council President, as I stated in the email to the police department, we've exhausted from a municipal perspective everything that we can do. The state stated that they would put a frosted film on the bottom part of the window, and at the top part of the window, they stated, there was varying ways that they weren't supposed to do that. I don't know if I personally agree with that, but that was the extent of what the State Department that oversees that group home would allow in this incident. If the person's exposing himself and things like that, it just becomes a police matter at this point, because I don't know how much more from a code perspective that the construction office has exhausted everything that they have in their power. We've exhausted everything with the state to make sure that they try and bring some compliance there. And the only real compliance item that they gave us was the film on the bottom part of the window.
I had to go out there today, and I sat there for a little while, and then I went over and I spoke to him. He has 2 young boys over there, and that's,
The picture is
I can see through the window, so I can understand why he's still upset, because I would think that the township should be able to force them to put in a darker one, because I could see through, with nobody in the window, I could see through that. Whatever film they use is very flimsy.
So the code does not allow us, the Department of Family and Children's Services, which I believe oversees the group home, would have that authority. And that's what they gave us, was that they were putting this film that was their approved correction to it. But there's no municipal code for filming a window based off of what we are allowed to do. That's why the construction office doesn't have any real jurisdiction over it. It would be the State Department that licensed the home that would then require them to do it. And then if it continues, then it becomes a police matter because he is exposing himself.
So what you're saying is that every time this happens, this gentleman should call the police.
I mean, that would be my recommendation.
Which we do, and, they're very responsive and they show up every time, but they sort of say they're also limited to what they can actually do. So we're sort of stuck with no resolution, and we're just constantly having to see this.
Yeah, that's unacceptable to me. So the police come up to, they come to the house.
Yes.
And what happens when they come?
Talk to them for a few minutes, maybe show them what, we just witnessed, and then they go over, they speak to the, people working in the home. And, usually it kind of rectifies the situation for the rest of the night, hopefully, and then
Couple
a
days
week
later,
later,
happens.
we're out in our driveway and there he is again.
And how many times have the police been over there for this kind of a call?
Lot, and this is well over a year we've been calling for the same gentleman, so a lot. And some of the fine gentlemen standing right over there.
I can't force the operation of the police department to act.
That's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is if the police department hands are tied, what happens next? Where do we go next?
That would be discussing you have with the police chief.
Okay.
I would just also reiterate, this is right across from the Michael Road Park with his window directly facing out to like the building
Yes,
side. of it.
I've been there. I did it, when you came to us last,
Sure.
I did the walk around the park. I wanted to see what the views were. Mr. Kramer was there today,
Sure.
so we will, I guess, so the next step then is to discuss it with the police chief and find out what the next step is.
We're also, sorry, Mr. Chairman.
No.
We're also in contact with the state and the
Okay.
department that's, we're doing that personally as well. Actually,
Have they given you any indication?
they're having another, the gentleman we're speaking with is having another meeting, he said tomorrow morning with a great attorney youth with someone else who he's going to discuss it with further and then I guess I'll address hopefully tomorrow morning.
When he updates you, if you could just
Yeah.
update council president and then he can disseminate the information, but at least just contact him and let us know when you hear what happens out of that meeting.
Absolutely. And we really just hope we can come up with something.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry for your trouble.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Tim, anybody want?
I'll make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I do have a need for executive session. One of them is.
I'm gonna read it. Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act permits the exclusion from the public for a meeting in certain circumstances, whereas the public body is of the opinion that such circumstances exist. Now therefore be it resolved by the Borough of Spotswood, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey as follows. Number one, the public shall be excluded from discussion of any action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. Number two, the general nature of the subject matter to be discussed is as follows: attorney-client privileged communications, contract negotiations, and a litigation update. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public when confidentiality is no longer required. The resolution shall take effect immediately. Is there a motion?
But, well, before we go in, because I know one of the council member has conflict, we're specifically speaking about the 888 contract, when it comes to contract negotiations, regarding the dispatch. So,
Yeah, I can't.
Have a motion.
she can motion to approve to go into executive, she'll just have to recuse herself for the one section.
Make a motion.
Maybe second.
One member.
You gonna make the motion?
Is that on there?
No. It's a potential employee.
Right, that's my bad.
So we. Closed session. Is there a second?
Second. Nobody made the motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution and go to executive session.
Second.
We won't be taking any
All
action.
in favor?
Aye.
No action is anticipated. Correct, Council President?
We have to give it time for.
Yeah, there's no action that's gonna be taken. Soon 30 minutes. We'll come back and close the meeting.
You can't, you're not allowed to refer to.
Yeah, we can't.
So.